I was so ugly, many people close to me bullied me because I looked like an alien. Harvard rejected me 10 times. KFC hired 24 people out of 25 applicants. I was the only one they said no to. But you know what? Thank God for those rejections, because they led me to build the Alibaba empire. How many of you are sitting there right now afraid to take that leap? Afraid of hearing no one more time? Afraid your family will think you're crazy for chasing a dream that seems impossible? I see you, because I was you. Making $12 a month as an English teacher, watching everyone else succeed while I collected rejections like souvenirs.
Welcome to Walk to Money, Walking to Success.
But tonight, I'm going to share with you the one sentence that changed everything. A sentence I read in a magazine that transformed every rejection from a curse into a blessing. This isn't just advice. This is the blueprint that took me from nobody to building an empire. You see, most entrepreneurs fail because they're asking the wrong question. They ask, why won't anyone accept me? But successful entrepreneurs ask something completely different. And when you discover this question, you'll realize that every no you've received wasn't rejection. It was redirection toward your destiny. Picture this. I'm sitting in my tiny apartment drowning in rejection letters when I opened this magazine. And there it was. Identify what you're good at and get someone to pay you for it. That's it. But I stared at that sentence for hours because it revealed something terrifying. I had been chasing acceptance instead of creating value. I was so busy trying to fit into someone else's company, someone else's vision, that I never asked the most important question. What can I do that nobody else is doing? You see, I was good at something. I was really good at it. I had ideas, crazy, wild, impossible ideas. But I saw them as weaknesses because no employer wanted to hear them. That night, I realized every successful entrepreneur faces a choice. You can spend your life begging for a seat at someone else's table, or you can build your own table and invite the world to join you. But here's what they don't tell you about building your own table. It requires something that 95% of people will never have. And it's not money. It's not connections. It's not even talent. Studies show that 72% of entrepreneurs quit within the first 2 years. Not because they lack skills, but because they can't handle the psychological warfare that comes with being different. The difference between those who quit and those who become legends isn't intelligence. It's understanding that success doesn't come from offering what everyone else offers. Success comes from being so uniquely valuable that the market can't ignore you. So I made a decision that night. I stopped trying to convince people I was good enough for their job. Instead, I started asking, what problem can I solve that nobody else is solving? What value can I create that the world desperately needs? And that's when I discovered something that would change everything. A little thing called the internet. But here's the crazy part. Nobody in China even knew what the internet was. I traveled to Seattle and someone showed me this magical thing called the World Wide Web. I typed beer and found beer from Germany, from America, from everywhere. Except China. That's when it hit me like lightning. China had 1.3 billion people, but we were invisible to the world. I saw a problem so massive that most people couldn't even comprehend it. And problems? Problems are just opportunities to wear disguises. I came back to China and told everyone, we're going to connect Chinese businesses to the world through the internet. You know what they said? Jack, you're crazy. The internet is a toy. Chinese people will never buy things online. Even my wife thought I'd lost my mind. But here's what I learned that every entrepreneur must understand. When everyone thinks you're crazy, you're either completely wrong or you're about to change the world. The first 3 years of Alibaba, pure hell. We had no money, no customers, no credibility. My team worked 16-hour days in a tiny apartment. We survived on instant noodles and dreams. Investors called us amateurs. Competitors said we'd be dead within 6 months. There were nights I questioned everything. At night, I wondered if I should just give up and go back to teaching. But then I remembered something crucial. Today is cruel. Tomorrow will be more cruel. But the day after tomorrow will be beautiful. Most people die tomorrow night because they cannot survive the second day of cruelty. You see, every entrepreneur faces this moment. The moment when quitting seems logical, when everyone around you is begging you to be realistic. But this is exactly when legends are born. Here's what I discovered. Success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most committed. The difference between mediocrity and wealth? Commitment. Most people don't get what they want because they don't do enough to get it. And they don't do enough because they're not truly committed to the results. If you're not committed to the results, there won't be results. And if there are no results, it's because you weren't committed enough. But commitment alone isn't enough. You need to understand something that 99% of entrepreneurs never figure out. You don't succeed by avoiding problems. You succeed by becoming so good at solving problems that people pay you handsomely for solutions. Every complaint you hear, every frustration in the market, every time someone says, "I wish there was a better way," that's not noise. That's the sound of opportunity knocking so loud it's practically screaming at you. But before you can solve problems for money, you must master the one skill that determines everything: selling. And I don't just mean products. Right now, in this auditorium, you're selling. When you go home and tell your spouse about your business idea, you're selling. A job interview? You're selling yourself? Raising money for your startup? You're selling a vision. Even getting people to come to your event, that's selling. Everything in life is sales. Everything is influenced to achieve a specific result. Your poverty, your lack of results, your frustration, it's not bad luck. It's the direct consequence of your inability to convince others. And that has everything to do with your power of persuasion. Successful people don't complain. They don't make excuses. Listen, we all have the right to feel sad sometimes, to be confused, to have doubts about the future. That's human. But when does negativity become a habit? That's when you're programming yourself for failure. Ideas and creativity start with intention. If you want something and you put passion behind it, with time, you will find opportunities. Your beliefs about who you are and what's possible for you condition your entire life. You set your goals based on the image you have of yourself. Every person lives according to the pattern of their beliefs. Now let me warn you about the 3 qualities that will destroy any entrepreneur: arrogance, inability to evaluate situations, and lack of future vision. Arrogance makes you stop listening, become self-sufficient, and despise your competition. If you can't evaluate situations properly, you make wrong decisions. If you fail in diagnosis, you fail in solutions. And if you're always reactive instead of proactive, you'll never be in a leadership position. But here's the secret that changed everything for me. Opportunities exist wherever there are problems and people complaining. If there's a problem or complaint, it means customers aren't getting what they want. That's a potential goldmine waiting to be explored. Apply the frustration theory to entrepreneurship. What frustrates you? What frustrates consumers? What isn't working? If you believe you can solve it, then you have a business with the potential to make serious money. The difference between mediocrity and wealth comes down to one word: commitment. Most people don't achieve their dreams because they don't do enough to achieve them. And they don't do enough because they're not truly committed to the results. Commitment means giving yourself completely to something, doing whatever it takes for as long as it takes. Committed entrepreneurs survive. Uncommitted entrepreneurs disappear. If you want success in anything, you must commit 100%. Mediocre people always have excuses for why they don't reach their financial goals. But if you want to be a winner, never justify failure. Accept responsibility and learn. There's only one path to success: taking charge of yourself. Either you take responsibility for your life and results, or you become vulnerable to your environment. You are the problem. You are the solution. and that's actually the most empowering realization you'll ever have. Now let me share with you Alibaba's secret code for success. The same code I believe every individual should live by. Are you ready? Here it is. Keep your dream alive, because someday it can become reality. But dreams without persistence are just fantasies. You will always have an opportunity to triumph if you don't give up. The most important quality you must have? Persistence. Giving up is the greatest defeat of all. Hold on, resist. Don't stop pedaling and your moment will come. Don't doubt it. Most people die tomorrow night because they can't survive that second day of cruelty. But you're different. If I ever write a book about Alibaba, it will be about the 1001 failures I had before creating this commercial empire. 1001. Not successes. Failures. Because those failures taught me everything I needed to know about winning. Your moment will come if you keep persisting. Don't give up. That's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve their dreams. So I ask you now, will you spend the rest of your life collecting rejections and making excuses? Or will you take that pain, that frustration, those closed doors, and use them as fuel to build something the world has never seen? The choice is yours. But remember, every empire starts with a single decision. The decision to stop asking for permission and start creating value. Your empire is waiting. Don't keep it waiting too long. Thank you. Now go build something impossible.
If Jack Ma's story ignited something inside you, then you're ready for more game-changing content. This is exactly what Walk to Money is about. Transforming your financial struggles into success stories. Hit that subscribe button right now because we're just getting started. Give this video a thumbs up if Jack Ma's advice resonated with you. Drop a comment below telling us, what's your biggest entrepreneurial challenge right now? And don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear Jack Ma's message today.